back to the Coach's Hour. You're here with myself, Cho Chang, and my co-host is HBO series Severus Snape. And we're joined here once again by Harry Potter's best mate's sister, Ginny Weasley.
Nice. Good.
So every coach says they care about someone's relationship with food, but then they go and run an 8-week challenge, right, or 8-week shred, Ibiza classic, right, and fat loss challenges that reward the biggest loser, which could be seen as a conflicting information. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about fitness or specifically fat loss challenges, particularly are they helpful, are they harmful, or is there a bit more to it? So with that underway, let's get into it. Where shall we start?
Start those intros. How long have you worked on those intros?
Oh, these.
Is that the tube on the way in?
Sometimes when I'm in the gym and I'm talking to my wife, I'm like, okay, we got, and he's ginger.
Yeah,
we need
that's what we've got.
Yeah, we need to run with that.
One of my favorite things on Instagram at the minute is watching him lift and his wife's spot. It's absolutely got to be. I've replied to your stories too many times about it now. Just know that every time. It was one the other day, and he's doing that banded dumbbell press.
Yeah.
Not banded, but you've got the weights banded.
Yeah.
Because the dumbbells aren't heavy enough for you. And she's just stood behind you like this. Like telekinesis spine.
I know, like, when I'm training, I just know, like, I need to be prepared. Like, I'm not, if something goes wrong,
It's wrong.
It's going wrong.
Is it just nice to have her stood there?
Do you know what? I never asked. I don't expect her to stand there. Like I do for the Smith machine because I think she can help you with, spin it.
Yeah. Because it's a bit annoying that one, isn't it?
But on a dumbbell press, genuinely no.
She just can't let this idiot die.
She
She's like, I just can't let him my things. We've got responsibilities.
Her explanation is that if it slips from the band, she'll push it away.
Push the weight away?
Yeah, like push the...
With her mind, because she stood...
Yeah,
she stood in the
well
car park.
far, right? So, if she's listening, then hopefully...
Does she listen to these?
I think so.
She
sometimes,
needs to.
Maybe. She should.
We need the listeners.
Yeah.
We need the numbers.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Okay.
So...
Anyway, sorry.
But it doesn't come up as a number anyway, because it comes up on my Spotify. She's using my account.
Him just listening to himself. Yeah, fair. Anyway,
fat loss challenges.
Yeah,
fat loss challenges.
I think I'll get this one on. Yeah. We used to run them all the time. Well,
oh, yeah?
I say all the time in COVID because that was one of the things to do.
Okay.
That was my first,
Yeah, that was my first one. And I have recently created a course for PTs to run 8-week challenges. And it's really interesting because I spoke briefly to Ant beforehand. I'm a bit conflicted with it because I don't agree with 8-week challenges on the whole. But there's a but, so I agree with them if there's a little bit of integrity there. And for me, the 8-week challenge, why I've done it as a course for people to do it themselves is with the preface of people signing up for one-to-one coaching. So it's not like 8 weeks and done. However, we can't control how people respond to that. So a lot of people will do the 8-week challenge and done. But
is these are these paid challenges? Are they free challenges?
They're paid challenges. So essentially, like, it's a lead magnet.
Right.
So it's a lead magnet, like you get an 8-week challenge, you go through, you get some amazing results. However, it's going to be aggressive. It's 8 weeks. And then you like what you see or what you're getting. You probably won't have reached your goal within 8 weeks. So you join a one-to-one service and then you kind of carry on. Now, the caveat to that is it might be a little bit different because I have structured the 8-week challenges a little bit different, or I sell it as a course a little bit different. So like there's still an assessment. There's still like PT sessions because it's for gym floor PT. So it's not just like, 8 weeks rapid fat loss. It's basically like, you know how certain mentorships like do the 4-week free coaching.
Yeah, it's more like 8 weeks of introduction to
there
what
you
I
go.
have.
Yes. Yeah. And so like the focus isn't so much on someone getting 8-week results. It's you wow them with, you already do an assessment. A lot of people won't have had an assessment done before. This is why we do an assessment, and you're already planting the seed for longer term. You write in a program, you do like 3 or 4 sessions as they go through the 8 weeks. And again, within that 60 minutes, you wow them. So like at the end of the 8-week challenge, it's like, okay, then this is where we are. This is what we're going to do. So if they are run like that, I'm on board with them. However, a lot of challenges aren't run like that. And a lot of challenges are solely online, which is, again, not bad, but they do set people up for failure. So that's kind of why I'm conflicted. But I think if you can keep your integrity while you're doing it.
A lot of people do it for free as well, right?
What's
It's
that?
like they kind of use it as their lead magnet as such. It's like, oh look, I'm offering you this free thing, and then you do the challenge. Hopefully, you enjoy the results so much that you do sign up for one-to-one coaching. But then it becomes a bit of the mindset behind the coaching becomes, I need to get this guy some really good results in order, because if they like that, they're going to love the one-to-one, right?
Yeah. And that's why I think like having it paid is really important. I don't feel like you should be giving it away for free.
Yeah.
I think you need to have rather they need to have some investment, like the clients themselves need to have some investment, which then gives you some leeway to be like, okay, we don't need to put you through the floor to get you a result enough that you feel like, I'm worthy of then spending money on me. If you come into the process having spent X, Y, Z, you're still going to get your value regardless. Like, you're going to get a program that you can keep and do forever, because that's your assessment process done, your programming done. You're going to get a deeper understanding of nutrition because we'll host weekly calls, etc. But alongside that, I'll get a little bit of upfront cash. And again, for struggling PTs, that's always beneficial. And if they get a little bit of upfront cash, they'll probably invest in coaching, which means they'll become a better coach, etc. And then the client, they invest themselves, get some way of the result, and then continue long term. But with free challenges, like, I do understand there's going to be a pressure on the coach to deliver said specific outcome that might mean they have to do things that are, in my opinion, immoral.
What about you, Ant? What's your thoughts?
I think a lot of it just comes down to the expectation, like managing the expectation from a client standpoint, but also from, if you're a coach, you can get incredible results for somebody in 8 weeks if everything, like if the planets align, you can do that. But they're probably not going to have 25 kilos to lose if that's the case. They're probably going to have about 6 or 8, if that, and maybe a kilo a week will fall straight off. And, that's how it will run. But I think they're a good introduction into processes. I think as long as it's outlined very clearly that this is the goal, this is what you should expect from this process, and here's what you should not expect from this process, then I don't see any problem with them. I've got an old client of mine. I think she's just finished running an 8 week, I think it was 8 weeks, fat lossing, and it was flag posted as an aggressive dieting phase. And I don't see any problem with that, because she was very clear in the marketing. She was very upfront to people of, fat loss isn't something that you should look to do forever. There's this wonderful thing called maintenance where you can just exist and have a nice time. So we're going to go into this aggressive fat loss thing. Calories are going to be relatively low. It's totally fine. You're not doing it forever. No one's going to break their metabolism doing this, and then at the 8 week point, after the 8 week point, you'd have probably lost some weight, and then we're going to slowly bring you back out. And that's probably where the upsell comes, is like, here's the way that you come out of this. If you don't carry on, that's totally fine. Here's how you should do it. I think as long as it's done in an ethical manner and it's explained, I don't think there's any problem with them. I think the issue is that people perceive that. I think if you broke down the numbers, you did it the other day on your just plugging him's Instagram here. On your Instagram, when you're talking about coaches saying they've worked with, and then you do the math on it. We'll talk about, because there's a great example of that with somebody from years and years and years ago, from a gym that I used to work in Leeds. But if you broke down the numbers of how much fat loss someone could expect to lose over an X amount of time frame, in 8 weeks, it's this much, and that's with this deficit and blah, blah, blah. If someone's got 30 kilos to lose, short of taking a limb off, they're not going to do it in that time frame or in that gap. So I think as long as that's explained and understood, I don't see any issue.
Yeah. I think a lot of coaches now have made it their main business model as well.
Yeah.
So like, I would use that myself as a lead magnet, as we've discussed, like to get someone into upselling. But I think as with anything, like, people see a little bit and just the floodgates and open, because like, I've seen hundreds of people on a fat loss challenge, an 8 week challenge. And like, for me personally, I couldn't deal with 100 people. And don't get me wrong, like some people do have coaches working with them or alongside them, etc. But to deliver the service that I would feel would guarantee someone the outcome that I want, there's no way I'm doing 50 check-ins in a week. Absolutely no way. And it's like, if you do some maths, like 100 people, 150 quid, whatever the maths is on that you do that 4 times a year, you don't actually need to coach any time in between and still have a thriving business. But then it's like, that's for me when you put yourself more at risk of the challenges becoming more detrimental, because you're then driven by the results you get within the 8 weeks to promote your next challenge, and then potentially not having the capacity to take people on one-to-one because you've got another 100 people in the next quarter when you deliver that challenge, and so on and so forth. And there's a cycle that I've seen where people like, they started with, I'm just going to run one challenge. And then before you know it, it's like, my summer Christmas shred, my summer shred, my Easter shred, my holiday shred.
my Christian calendar shred.
Yeah. And it's like, and I don't have anything against that, but I think that's not coaching I don't feel like it. I wouldn't do that myself, because I don't feel like I'm giving the client the level of service I would want to. And I think that's where there's a fine line between utilising it for good and utilising it for potentially putting people at risk of rebounding, binging, breaking their metabolism, not managing their expectations, etc. Because like, if you're dealing with that capacity of people, it then becomes very hard to control the outcome.
Yeah.
Do you think it becomes a bit of your own responsibility to filter who you decide comes into your challenge as well?
I was just going to say, I don't really know it's a process of vetting those people, right? You know, so if you're taking on a lot of people into a challenge, you might be dealing with a lot of people, and so you have systems in a way, systems to deal with that volume. But at some point, you're going to probably have to front load that work, because if you've got 50 people coming into a challenge, but 20 of them aren't suitable because they do have poor relationships with food, or it's their 5th challenge this year, or whatever it might be, something like that, you've got to vet that, because otherwise you're either going to deal with it at the start, or you're going to be dealing with it in the middle, or you're going to be dealing with it at the end. So you may as well deal with it at the start. Because I remember having a client when we were at M10, and she would always do those sort of 6-week shreds before going on holiday. So that was kind of like the desperation model. That's what she would use it as. So would something like that be applicable for that individual? No, because she's done it enough times that she was actually in a position where, she then impacted several health markers. She was her sort of in-day energy availability was very low. So it'd be quite restrictive or very restrictive, lots and lots of output. And then binges on the weekend. That was her cycle. That was her eating pattern. So then her cycle disappeared, excessive stress on the body. So that person's whole system is in a state where it needs calm, routine, structure, nutrition. It needs all of those things going into it. Nothing that you're going to get in an 8-week shred. And her transformation was 6 months, but the first 3 of those were all of those health things. So I suppose they're very useful for certain people in certain points at certain times. We were part of one and got really good results off of it, but all the people that came into it at that point that got a really good result were at the right time. So,
and I think a lot of my first initial results came after the 8 weeks. It was the continuation.
They stayed on, right?
They made great progress, and then it was like either, as you mentioned it earlier, the maintenance, reverse diet, muscle building phases, or we realised that weren't quite there within the 8 weeks. Let's slow it down a little bit, and let's make this 8 weeks, 6 months, or 4 months, or however much it's going to be. And I think the continuation, I don't really know. I don't think many people rebounded in like a complete negative way. Some people put weight on. I'm not going to say it was like 100% success rate, and I think that was just because we had an element where it was like, we'll try and bring as many people through the whole process. And some people fell off before the end, that's going to happen anyway. But most people that completed the challenge, at least for me, would then stay on. And I think that's because we were using it where it wasn't just like 50 people it was actually like taking time, care, energy, effort to give them the same level that you would one-to-one clients. And then it was like, we're just going to continue as a one-to-one client. Might be a little bit more expensive, but you get these extra touch points where I think I've not seen many challenges, but I've heard enough to be like, it's a text message group, whatever it may be. And I'm like,
group call or something.
Yeah. And I'd still put group calls on, but then have a one-to-one element as well as that, because you can manage and control people's emotions and experience.
It's so difficult because then if you're looking at that, right, does that then become really worth it in terms of your time as well? Because you're basically doing one-to-one
for a lower price point.
Yeah, but people do it for free. This is what I mean. Like, because
no, but the people that do it for free don't do that level.
So do that level and get paid for it. And like, for me, because in this day and age as well, everyone's willing to do stuff for free. There's how many, like, you can go anywhere and get a free 4-week training. You can do Chat GPT for free. For me, I would prefer someone, even if like I was going to buy a service, I wouldn't mind paying a little bit up front for, that's really good. Like I've just bought, I think it's called Whisper Flow. Like it's a dictation thingy.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the chocolate bar.
Nah. It's like, because I
knew straight away.
AI. You got it.
Yeah, it's AI.
Yeah, so like I got a free
got
trial of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, they gave me the full service. And that free trial ran out. And I was like, where's my words? And it's like, I need to upgrade to continue the...
Make a new email.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? And like, I'm
Juade 01.
Juade Whisper 02.
Yeah.
But essentially, like, they gave me the full service and then took it away. And it was like, okay, then I actually need this, which is where you provide value. So it might not, on the front end, like obviously it's AI, so they've automated a lot of it, but on the front end, they don't gain anything. But they've riled me enough. On the back end, they get a year subscription, which will be 200 quid. Mm. So if we're going to do 8-week challenges or any challenges as a lead magnet, I would say, I'm leaning more towards not giving things away for free. Mm-hmm. And I think there's multiple reasons for that, but people don't value free. So like if someone has an 8-week challenge and we say, I'll go and train 4 times a week, I'm not going to fucking train 4 times a week. I ain't paid for this. Whereas if I paid 200 quid, I'm going to go and train 4 times a week because I want to get my money's worth. Then they're getting wowed in between that. Not of course, but the likelihood increases that they're going to sign up for you afterwards. So even though it might not be worth your time to begin with, I think with what people are doing now, it's way more worth it. And if you're busy, you don't need to do an 8-week challenge. If you're not busy, you've got all the time in the world, so your time's not worth anything because no one's buying from you.
Yeah. I mean, bad coaching is bad coaching, right? It comes in different shapes and forms. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 8-week challenge. Like, people used to sign up for, was it 6 weeks before their wedding, and they're like, I need to get down, and but they do it in a one-to-one aspect, right? So then realistically, you're just packaging the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not. I think it's not necessarily whether it's an 8-week challenge or or the one. It's the way that you kind of go about doing it, right?
I think like one of the reasons why I designed the course the way I didn't like sit down and think about a master plan. Like one of my clients, the first client that I did it with, because like we had all the stuff from when we used to do it at M10, so I kind of repackaged it, made it for more in person, added some stuff to make it more in person, and I was like, just use this. And the person that I gave it to, like, they were struggling financially, so for me it was like, I can help this person develop their coaching, but they can't afford it. So if I can get them a couple of clients, I can't remember how many I sold, maybe 6 at 100 quid. That 600 quid, that pays for a couple of months coaching with me. Within that couple of months, they're going to go from here to here. They signed up 2 or 3 people, which gave them another £600, whatever it was, recurring revenue. I've paid for myself. Yeah. So I've given myself that runway to actually make an impact on that person. So like for me, the 8-week challenge is a no-brainer. And I kind of thought of it like, if everyone's doing them anyway, if I can add as much integrity as I can, then I have to. Because like, if people are going to do it regardless, I'm at least having a little bit of a thought process of the longevity of someone outside or after the challenge. So like, I said at the start, I was on the fence because I like them and I don't like them. But if everyone's going to do it, I may as well do the best I can to help people.
Now you're off the fence.
Huh?
Now you're off the fence.
No, I'm still very much on the fence because I'm like, do it this way or something very similar. Like, you can't just run them because like, you see people run people into the ground and it's not nice. So it's like,
it's really difficult, isn't it? Because even though you have integrity in your thinking, there's still people that kind of get through the cracks, right? And you're just, it's like, if I just didn't run it, would it have been better? Because this person, or maybe several of these people, wouldn't have that issue, right? Because it's still.
But they'll find a way. Like if it's not
Yeah.
you, it's someone else, and that's why, like, that's kind of the.
So I need to make my bread.
Yeah,
Trying to run across there.
it's true. 'Cause like the one that I run, it's like costs like 37 quid. I would give it away for free, but like I don't like it's too valuable for that. And I'm just like, if someone's gonna purchase that and use it for not how it's supposed to be used, let's say they didn't purchase that, they'd go somewhere else and get the exact same thing or something very similar and use that how it's not going to be used. So at least with mine, like they have the opportunity. Like I put certain things in there where it's like, we don't need to do this because of, make sure we're not doing this. And it's like, at least someone might have the bad intentions, but they might look at that and be like, oh, actually he's got a point here. Maybe I won't do that. They might not, but I've done everything I can because they're gonna go and get it from somewhere anyway. So I'm thinking like, you may as well.
It's all the marketing anyway of it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you market it as fat loss or lose X amount of weight, then you're always going to be in trouble, right, for that. Versus if you said, look, our aim here is to kind of kickstart you. We're looking at building your habits and behaviors so that you can, that's going to be a very different outcome and you're going to attract very different people.
I always quite like those ones where it's like, we're going to do a 4-week tracking or habit starting kick thing. Yeah, I always quite like those ones because it comes from a really nice place of you just need to start, and if you track 5 habits in this 4 weeks and 2 of them stick, well, that's 2 more than you were doing, and that's cool, and it all just sort of builds towards, and then when that person is ready, they're probably going to come back to you.
Because that failure is controlled as well.
It doesn't
totally, and it's like it's something you weren't doing anyway. So you've moved two things up the needle. You know what I mean?
It's like body weight and stuff that can fluctuate, but your habits is completely reliant on whether or not you decide.
Yeah, have you done it? Have you not done it?
Yeah.
That doesn't sell. Like it.
That's it.
It doesn't.
It's because it's too. It's because it's too
bland,
proven.
man. It's too vanilla.
It's too bland, but it's too proven.
And like with my challenge, for example, I'm leaning into how much money the coaches are making off it. And I'm not a business mentor. I don't give a shit about how much money someone's making. Obviously, I want them to make a good living, but my benefit is they can afford to work with me. But if I say, run this challenge so you can afford to work with me, or run this challenge so you can learn how to do an assessment with your client, or run this challenge so you can actually get a couple of in-person sessions, no one's going to buy it. Run this challenge and get $2,000 in 6 weeks. Oh, I mean, what's this magic formula? Do this challenge and lose 8 kilos in 8 weeks. What's this? Yeah, what's the secret sauce? Rather than run this challenge and build some habits. It's like, it doesn't sell. So like, and that's one of the most difficult things is to sell with integrity, but still make it sellable. Yeah. Because like, I'm not actually selling 8-week challenges. If someone actually looks at what I'm selling, like they're doing an assessment process, they're designing a program based on that, they're setting someone's nutrition based on their estimated output. They're then having weekly calls that have It's like, they're selling coaching, but just packaged as this is an 8-week challenge that will guarantee that you lose. Well, I don't say guarantee, but you will lose some weight kind of thing.
Guaranteed to make $2,000.
Yeah, but like, do you know what I mean? And so like, we have to sell it in a way where you don't have to, but the difference with people, like they sell it in a way where it's like, maybe not put a number on it, but it has a definitive, oh, what's that? Well, how's they done that?
Piques the interest.
Yeah, and like, because I completely agree with the habit tracking thing. Like, weight is not lost by stepping on the scale every morning. Weight is lost by the amount of times you've done everything that was set for you within a week. Yeah. If you do all those things, you don't have to look at the scale.
Yeah.
Like, someone could not look at the scale for 8 weeks and lose weight, and it's not because of the scale, it's because they've stuck to it. But if we just said that, no one's going to buy that because it's proven it's too good to be true. What, track my habits and lose weight? That's not going to happen, is it?
It's what Michael always says, isn't it? Like, sell them what they want and give them what they need.
Yeah, we're saying that you wrap it up.
Yeah, but then it's like you can't wrap it up too much, so it's a lie.
Kind of the truth. Yeah. When we ran that one in lockdown, I had 2 very different experiences, and I was a lot younger then, obviously, and I really didn't know that much. But with one client, we actually won. Got, it's a completely subjective thing of whose physique, but it was an incredible transformation. She did really well. I knew her anyway. I used to work with her. She wanted to work online, and she did amazing. Absolutely shredded by the end. We actually carried on for another 2 weeks and then did a photo shoot.
Yeah,
She came to a gym and did a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And by which I mean I did the photos, right? I took the photos. So coaches who can't be asked, like we used to actually do the photo shoots ourselves. But that was
You take the pictures.
yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Did that a couple of
Oiled up
times.
everything. Yeah,
Did it all.
right.
Did it all.
Photographer.
Yeah. Lighting.
Yeah.
Damn.
Do you hold that? But that's what, because it was like, what, 400 quid to go and get a photo shoot? She wasn't going to go do that. She didn't have that. So
iPhone. It is.
so we were like, I got an old DSLR. Let's crack it out and we'll see what we can do, But
Nice.
yeah, and I think I then sat and edited those photos and went through them. I wouldn't make a habit of it, but I think that you were willing to do that at that point because the result was so good. The result was that good. I was very proud of that work, right? But anyway, that was one of them. The other one, speaking about ethics or being ethical, I should have stopped. I should have stopped him. I should have said, what you want is not achievable in this time frame. What you're looking to do isn't achievable in this time frame, and we're probably going to tank your health markers by doing this. But I didn't.
Are you in?
Do you want it? But I didn't. I pushed it. I pushed it, and I was like, let's see what we can do. And he wanted to do it, so he wanted to push, and he wanted to see what could be done in the last 2 weeks. You're not going to do anything if you're not ready. You're not ready, right? You've competed. You've done shoots. If you're not ready, you ain't ready. And I should have, at that point, as the coach, taken control and said, that's not a wise idea. Here's all the reasons why. If you still want to do it, you can, but I don't think that's the right decision. Here's what we should do. We should stop. We should build all your health markers back up and try and maintain your weight and then go again in 3 months' time, right? But we didn't. We pushed it and
He crumbled.
And he didn't get the result he wanted. And then I was like, now I'll try the sell. I think you should stay on board. He'd already gone to another coach, which was totally fine. But then 6 or 8 months later, he did get an amazing result, and fair play to him and fair play to the coach for getting that result. But I know that it would have taken that time because they'd have had to build him back up again to then pull him down. And that really was a moment of, okay, there's a lesson there. I should have gone a different route, but I chose not to. And like that's a long time ago now. But
and I think because as you were speaking, a lot of thoughts came into my mind, and I'm gonna try and make it a little bit more succinct. So like the challenges that we ran then were very physique based.
Yeah.
So like they were promoted as, and like at
it
the
was
time,
actually called the 8 week physique. So.
Yeah. And this is the thing, right? Because the promotional stuff was people that were really in shape and shredded. So straight away, psychologically, that person probably came into the challenge thinking, I want that physique, that shape, that shredding, which is what they would have paid for because that's how it was marketed. So not your fault, not anyone's fault really, but probably in hindsight and lessons learning, like something I would do is have multiple ways of social proof. So like some of it would be transformation based. Some of it would be video testimonials of someone just saying, I'm more confident in the gym. So like it took me 8 weeks to actually step into the gym. Some might be talking on camera. It took me 8 weeks to build my habits. And like, if you do challenges, maybe 3 or 4, and you've got multiple versions of your social proof, you'll probably filter out some of the people that will come just for the before and after because they're like, I don't want all this wishy-washy habit building. Fine, I don't want you to come challenge either because it's not going to serve you or serve me. And even though it might be negative in terms of, you won't get as many sign-ups, the way you market your challenge can act as a filter for the people that you want, because when we were doing the challenges, our filter was we want people that are going to be physically transforming. That's how it was advertised. It was very aggressive. That's what it was. Obviously, as coaches, we all put our unique style on it to, I'm not going to say make the best out of a bad situation, but like to make sure we preserved people's longevity, but it was marketed as get a transformation. There was prizes for the best transformation. And that's not wrong. But then we can't be then surprised that people come and say, people come and say, we want this, we want that. So like now, if I was going to do a challenge again, yes, it would be transformation based. I love the transformations. But there would also be other elements that would repel someone, or at least if they still work with me, they have the understanding of it's going to take 8 months for you, mate. Are you still on board? No. Okay. And again, you've learned from that experience. Like I've learned from your experience, and it's like we're now X amount of years later, whereas some people don't think like that to begin with, yet alone X amount of years later. So that's kind of the thing. You have different methods of promoting your challenge, not just a visual.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add?
I don't know about you guys, but even now, when it's coaches who come in, it's usually like a year at least online. Normally, it's rare that I have somebody for less than a year, and that expectation is built straight off the bat. It's like, where do you want to go? Why do you want to do it? Oh, I want to do a shoot. Awesome. I had a guy sign up the other day, and I was like, when do you want to do it? And he's like, 2027. I'm like, brilliant, fantastic. But that's great to me, because that's clearly the people that are coming in now. And I think going back to what we spoke about in a previous episode, the affordability nature of it, right? An online coaching investment is much more sustainable for a lot of younger people, especially, that they can foresee themselves doing it for a couple of years, because
They should be thinking long term, right?
right. I can't guarantee it, but it'd be rare that you wouldn't be able to deliver over 2 year, because you've got 2 years to do it. But yeah, I think in terms of people getting a transformation, it can be done quickly, but 99.9% of the time it's better when it's not done quickly.
Yeah. So with because I used to always get the best shoots come second time round.
Yeah.
Time round. Like the first one is okay, and maybe the client is like genuinely really happy because that's the leanest that they've ever been. But the second one is like,
it's mega.
That's when you just know, like, I know your numbers, I know exactly how you diet.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is
The first-
easy. I just set you up into this nice, like rebound. I gain you a little bit, and then this is where I want you at.
The first shoot I ever did, he stayed for another year and did I think he did another shoot like a year and a bit later. And yeah, the second one, I was really, because it was the first time I'd taken someone to a second shoot, so I was really nervous. I was like, oh, what if we built like no muscle tissue? What if there's no difference? I remember what you put in the photos next to each other. I was like, wow, this is awesome. And yeah, it is that big thing of, the numbers, and a big thing for them, they know what the process is like. Like, he was starving on the first one. Like, 3 months out, and he's going, I'm starving, mate. I'm like, you got a while, yeah. But the second time, he was like, I just know it's coming. I think that expectation it's such a huge part of it,
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, like, people do it all the time. Even like, I have contest prep athletes as well, and there's so many first timers come and they're like, I want to compete this year, and it's like, well, I want to compete in 8 weeks time. It's like, you're absolutely mental.
Not doing a shoot yet.
Yeah, you just have to tell, you just have to be so honest and be like, look, this is not, it's not going to happen.
I've taken 2 guys to a show, but you'd have done it much more frequently, and obviously you've competed yourself as well. From someone being like photo shoot lean to stage level lean, or use yourself as an example, from photo shoot lean to stage level lean, how many weeks of dieting is between that? Give or take.
I would say my photo shoot condition, I can probably get away with 80 kilos.
Right.
And to lose that last bit to get like really like inside out condition, I probably need to get down to 72 kilos. Right?
That's mad, isn't it?
So that's...
I don't know what's more frustrating about that, the gap or the fact that I was 72 kilos at my shoot and I was definitely not inside out stage lean. And this guy's carrying 80 kilos and we're about the same height.
It's tricky, right? Like you don't realize how that in the beginning, like the first 10 kilos is like, it's going to fly off, right?
Yeah.
It's the last, 5-10 that takes just as long, if not more.
Yeah.
And
just so much more resistance to it.
Even to now, trainers will say, they'll post their own content to say, it's going to take longer. But then when you tell them the timeline, they're like, nah, I ain't want to diet for 25 weeks. I'm like, but that's what you need.
And that's what you're telling your clients to do.
Yeah. I remember Joe took me through my shoot and did like an awesome job. I was super happy with it. I remember looking at it going, I'm so like proud of this, but I'm also so ready to have the photos and, for this part of the process to be done. And to think like, if I wanted to step on a stage, I'm probably got another minimum 6 weeks of dieting of like at this level, that's another level.
Depends how you're doing the shoots as well. Like nowadays we've got the confidence shoots and stuff like that. That's another story.
Yeah,
like,
that's
like
that is another episode, you know.
that's a mini can, isn't it? Not even.
Not even.
Are you confident?
Well, I am.
Right, yeah. There
You
you
want to
go.
top off now.
Yeah.
Confident, mate. Okay, should we wrap up there?
That's good.
Yeah, man. So before we leave, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you've made it this far, please go onto your listening platform, go onto the part where you can, you see the stars and just leave us a review. As of right now, we only accept 5 stars and above. And if you haven't done this, we're gonna send Ant to your door as the heir of Ron Weasley. It will mess you up, man.
It's got these written. You've come too prepped for this, I'm telling you.
Avada, you know the rest of that spell, so don't make me. Support local, guys. 5 stars. Just go and do it. You're on Spotify anyway. Just go and do it.
That's what I'm saying,
5
man.
stars. Help us out.
So you can find me on Instagram. I am at Gym with him, and my co-host is Jawade at Jawade Graham Coach, and is at Anthony_Barnes_coaching. We'd like to thank Ant for joining us once again today,
Thank you.
and we'll see you all on the next one. So it's goodbye for me.
Peace.